For years we dreamed about owning a small homestead, a place with space, our horses at home, a garden, and the chance to become a little more self-sufficient. That's what brought us to Hungary in 2023. We weren't planning to buy anything. We just wanted to see what kind of property you could actually get for your money. Then we turned onto this dirt road. Kevin was sold almost instantly. I wasn't. At first, all I could see was the mess. Old buildings, overgrown areas, years of neglect. But the longer we walked around, the more I started noticing something else. The space. Everywhere I looked, there was more land, more trees, more possibilities. I kept asking myself, where does this property actually end? Then we learned it came with more than 18 acres of land. And suddenly, everything felt a lot bigger than we expected. What really stood out to me were the old trees. Some of them had probably been there for decades, and the way the property was hidden from the outside world. Driving down that dirt road, I honestly thought, are we just driving into a field? I never expected there to be a house tucked away back here. And then we finally saw the house. To be honest, it wasn't exactly what we expected. The buildings had clearly seen better days. There was clutter everywhere. Parts of the property had been neglected for years, and some of the outbuildings looked like they could collapse at any moment. Most people would probably have taken one look and gotten back in the car, but for some reason we didn't. The longer we stood there, the more curious we became. We wanted to see what was behind those doors, and whether there was still something worth saving. We stepped inside, and that's when we started to understand what we were really looking at. There was no running water, no sewage system, no bathroom, no kitchen. There were even holes in the ceiling. Years of neglect were visible everywhere we looked. In many ways, the house was little more than a shell. Most people would probably have turned around and walked away. But the longer we explored, the less we focused on what was missing, and the more we started imagining what this place could become. We weren't looking at the house that was there. We were imagining the home it could one day become, a place we could build from the ground up, a place that would truly feel like ours. Of course, we could also see how much work it needed, and there was no way we could ignore that. But then came the next surprise. The price. When we heard the asking price, we honestly thought we had misunderstood. For about the price of a new car, we wouldn't just get the house, we'd get more than 18 acres of land as well. Suddenly, walking away became a whole lot harder. What started as a simple viewing was slowly turning into something much bigger. The good news was, we didn't have to make a decision right away. The real estate agent allowed us to stay on the property with our camper for a few days, so that's exactly what we did. During the day, we explored the land. We kept finding new corners of the property. Old trees, open fields, quiet places hidden away from the rest of the world. And slowly, it became easier and easier to imagine a different kind of life here. A life with our horses at home, a garden, more space, more freedom, and maybe a little more control over where our food came from. In the evenings, we cooked outside, sat around the fire, and talked for hours about what this place could become. At that point, it was still just a dream, but it was starting to feel surprisingly real. When we arrived, we had absolutely no intention of buying anything. We were just here to look around. But after a few days on the property, leaving suddenly felt a lot harder than we expected. And eventually, we made a decision. Just 2 days after arriving, we bought the property. At the time, it felt like one of the best decisions we had ever made. But what we didn't know yet was that this place was about to test us in ways we never expected. Just a few months later, we discovered a problem that could have ruined everything, and it all started with the roof.